How do you decide what to work on?
I go by what I'm excited about. Like if it's this phrase, right? Does it spark joy? I don't know if it started with I forget the person's name with the cleaning. Yeah, go ahead.
Marie Kondo.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was the origin of this phrase or it's been around longer. But yeah, if I'm excited about something, if I can't wait to see the outcome of something, if I can't wait to know the answer to a certain question, if I can't wait for this thing to exist that will do X, Y, and Z, I work on it. Another factor is the people, and I mentioned this earlier. I get a lot of joy out of interacting with people that I work well with, and so there could be a project that maybe the project in itself doesn't necessarily spark joy, so to speak, but the people spark joy, and then I'll get involved in that as well. So yeah.
How do you decide what to work on?
So it's very much a portfolio approach in the sense of I think about the collection of things I'm working on and also a portfolio in terms of like who I'm working with. And so, I want to make sure to have, especially as I get later into my career, I want to make sure I have some things that are high risk and longer term, and doing appropriate things at that level of maybe there's some sort of painful things to be doing or not that exciting things to be doing, but it's necessary in order to sort of do something longer term. And so anyway, I want to make sure I have some stuff that's kind of longer in scope and sort of higher risk, higher reward stuff, but also having some things that are kind of like shorter term. I can't just disappear and lose myself and lose touch with reality of the research world. And so sort of kind of having that spectrum of sort of longer term and also a spectrum of like more theoretical stuff or more foundational stuff versus more applied stuff. I think sort of keeping a portfolio there. And then in terms of the people, the things that I find important are working with people I can learn something from, making sure there are sort of people, it's not, like that I am sort of learning how to do better research as I'm doing it. There should be some people that I'm able to help and sort of, like I can sort of help them grow is an important part of the portfolio. And then I think there's another one, I try to always make time for just like doing research with people that I enjoy doing research with. And so some part of the portfolio is just, I like working with this person. I don't really care what it is we're working on, but it just kind of like, I don't know, makes it more fun.
Yeah, there's research as a social activity, right?
Yeah.
How do you decide what to work on?
How do I decide? Yeah, as I said, that basically what makes me happy, like what I work on things that I'm excited about, and that's and our CEO always tells us that life is too short to work on something that you're not excited about. So that's so I try to do things that are fun for me. It might not be fun for some other person. So that's but at least if I find it fun or enjoyable, so I work on that.
How do you decide what to work on?
A bunch of different ways. I talk to people and sometimes I'll learn about a problem that exists and I'll think, oh, this is somewhere where this sort of technology that I've been working on can maybe be really helpful. And but maybe it's not quite there yet for some reason. And so I'll start to think about what's that piece that's missing. And so that's more of like a problem statement driven way to think about it. But sometimes it's purely like academic and technology driven, where I'll just see some cool algorithm somebody built and I'll just think, oh, but it would be better if you could do this. And And usually in those cases, I have to try hard to not kind of like go off the deep end, totally thinking only about an algorithm, and like, remember to level up a bit and think about why would I care, or why would another person care who wasn't so excited about this one little weird tweak.
Yeah, I know what you mean, where it can be, but this is cool, and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you decide what to work on?
How do I decide what to work on? I think it's a combination of being excited about the path, so the ideas to try on, and believing very much in the goal. If things were to work out, what after? So a combination of these two. That's how I decide what to work on.
How do you decide what to work on?
I think it's a combination of two things for me. One definitely is like collaborators. So I think I'm more attracted to having good collaborators than being super tied to a particular research direction, because I think the part of research that I enjoy more than the topic itself is the people I'm working with. And the other thing is, I think I am always looking to learn more things. So kind of try to think of, what is something I don't know anything about, and maybe it was computer vision, and then I decided, so let's work on a project that involves this so that I can learn more about it while I'm working on this project.
How do you decide what to work on?
Yeah, it's a good question. I tend to actually allow my students a lot of flexibility in choosing topics. If they can convince me something is interesting, I mostly go along with that. I tend to work with students who show an opinion on this front or have interesting ideas they want to try. So I think I work best kind of as a kind of consultant or an editor, or like the second person on the project to push them along. So I think that's mostly how we select projects.
How do you decide what to work on?
Sort of feeding into this whole social ties thing, it often ends up being a combination of, I am a serial collaborator. I don't really like working alone all that much because I don't think it's all that exciting. So some of it is on the whims of what my collaborators are interested in and what my students are interested in. And within the scope of a problem, I'm very excited about tinkering with that problem and that system and finding interesting insights. But as far as like which puzzle I'm playing with, I care significantly less. Like I may get excited, similar to like making analogies to my board games, like I might get excited about a genre for a while and want to explore problems in that space. But the act of exploring and tinkering is the main motivator.